Hey everybody, it's Charlie 4BZ Truth. Wanted to say hi on a live stream, and I was actually inspired to talk a little bit about the rapture. And if anybody pops in here, you're more than welcome to talk to me about it. I only have about 40 minutes to talk, um, maybe less. Just wanted to say hi to everybody and just vent about the rapture a little bit. And I guess I'm trying to figure out where to start. So maybe I can start with just defining what the rapture is believed to be. Um, the rapture, according to many interpretations of the Bible, is the great harvest or taking away of the saints, or the bride of Christ, you might say. Um, Now, you might actually, when you actually do a little research, find that there's a lot of things having to do with, when you say the word saints or word, bride. Oh my gosh. Hi, Mary. I see that you're the first one to pop in, it looks like. I just came on, so I'm glad you got the notification. Um, Maybe you can give some insight on this topic as well, but I felt the need to discuss it because there's a lot. So I was raised as a fundamental Christian, evangelical, whatever you want to call them, and I actually, I believed in the rapture growing up. Originally, I was a pre-trib rapture guy, which what that suggests is that anything, anyone that sees the return of Jesus Christ is, it's gonna happen before the tribulation. Now, the thing, see, everybody needs to realize is that the word tribulation is actually very general. Tribulation means the sifting of wheat. It also means the refining process. So, that could be applied to refining of gold. When you talk about burning away the dross and making gold more pure. Now, we are in the earth, on the earth, whatever you want to call it. And we are all in a refinement process, in my opinion. We are actually uh, in tribulation currently. Um, so, Mary, you say I was raised Pentecostal and also believe in said rapture, but I don't think it is what we have been led to believe. That's kind of what I'm talking about. This is going to make people, I'm going to ruffle some feathers because with all the stuff that I've looked into and researched, I've come to realize that there is something more to many of the scriptures than I once believed. Now, if I was to ask, is the physical nature more real than the spiritual nature? So, like, if I was to say, if you were to see like a manifestation of a spiritual nature or a manifestation of physical, I mean, most people might say, okay, physical means that you could probably see it. It's physical. It's tangible. Now, the interesting thing about what I'm learning about the spiritual is that I kind of look at the spiritual like it's the physical, but it's off the spectrum, the light spectrum. So, everything in creation is a lot like, um, everything's made in God's likeness, you might say. So you will see patterns of God in creation, and you will start to see, like with the light spectrum, you can see like uh, you know, things that are right out in front of you, and that's within the light spectrum that is in our view, in our vision. But then you have like ultraviolet, you have X-ray, you have all these different light frequencies off the spectrum. Well, it's not really off the spectrum, it's on the spectrum, but it's off of our view spectrum. We can't view it, but it's still there. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So that's kind of the concept of the frequencies that are off the spectrum is what I liken to spirituality. Now, we are, I might consider ourselves uh, as like physical beings, but we also are spiritual in nature. We actually have, now what's weird and interesting is that it's almost like the world today is trying to suppress the spiritual nature. It's so weird. It's like there's a conspiracy of suppressing the spirit or the soul. And it's freaking so weird to me because, there's something more real about the spiritual nature than people even realize. And, whenever people have a near-death experience or something, they start seeing a side of reality that is much more vast and much more in depth. It's like the spiritual eyes are opened and you're able to see, the larger spectrum, you might say. When we are in our bodies, we are actually physically restrained from the ability to see the larger spectrum of light or frequency. Oh, I should have attached this on my my contemplating the cosmos. I honestly, I'm trying to avoid uploading videos on contemplating the cosmos if I'm just talking about nothing but controversial things, because I don't want to, be on I don't want that channel to be suppressed because of the certain content. But this is right up along those lines, is contemplating the cosmos, because I feel like there's so much to the spiritual side of things. Now, see, with that kind of perspective and lens of interpretation, you might actually consider the rapture as a spiritual form of taking away or calling up. So when you actually consider, reaching this quote unquote ascension. So the word ascension means that we've reached a certain level of spirituality, I believe. And it's always a growth process, and we're continuing to grow. Now, the weird thing when I start noticing patterns in the Bible is when you actually look at the age of Aquarius or something. It talks about, how we're going to shift, or we're going to have a new age, and we're going to actually achieve a higher level of consciousness. Now, if we are ascending in that sense, could it be possible that, the story in the Bible was a metaphor when it was referring to the great calling up or the great taking away of the saints? Now, we are actually, in my opinion, everybody that is here is either, I guess you're either for Christ or against Christ. And I actually feel like there's those who have no regard for spirituality, and they're spiritually dead. But I also believe that there's people that are alive in their spirit, and they're constantly trying to grow and learn and understand. And I think that people are should be on that venture, trying to expand or grow. So anyways, Mary, I appreciate you leaving comments. Let me go ahead and read some of them here. Let's see. Okay, so yes, we don't see error, but it is there. Yep. Yes, we are being spiritually suppressed. Oh, Brian Stavely, what's up, man? How's it going? I'm surprised to see you here. This is actually a just kind of a random drop in and say hello. You know, I just felt like speaking on interpretation of the rapture. I don't know how that ties into like Mandela effect or whatever, but anyways. But anyways, Mary, you said yes, we are being spiritually suppressed. Prayer is great to connect to source. And would love to talk with you about portal. I believe we have got a lot to do with spirit. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Brian. Random hellos are the best. They're more organic. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, the whole Mary, the thing, the portal thing, I think is very under studied. Like people don't look into it like hardly at all. I mean, it's one of those freaking crazy things that is right out in the open, but nobody's talking about it. And you know, except everybody's talking about it. Everybody is, you know, in movies and like you know the mythology of portals. I mean, it's all over the place, and that's what I was trying to point out to people in my live stream that I did like last week. But anyways, hence we must gravitate to know and understand what is forbidden. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are forbidden. That's why I do what I do, is trying to expose things that are forbidden. And really, the deceptions are forbidden knowledge as well. And I want people to be aware and be open-minded to what the deceptions are as well. So there's truths that are forbidden and there's deceptions that are forbidden. So really, it all has to be out on the table so that people can acknowledge what's really going on. So anyways, so back to the thought of rapture. I actually, you know, one of my listeners, Joe, actually was sending me an email about somebody that was speaking on the Vax Mo RNA. I don't even want to say the name because I don't want to trigger the bot. So, but one of the messenger RNA jabs or whatever, they somebody on a higher, you know, I don't know if it's like the chairman or somebody that's on the board or whatever, came forward and was talking about how it does actually modify your DNA. And, you know, there's just something about the frequencies and, you know, like the spiritual level frequency about this freaking jab that's going to screw people up to the point where they're no longer going to have spiritual understanding. That's kind of the theory that I have, and I don't know if that's true, but it could be something. But you know, but that lady that was on this video from Rumble, she was talking about. I know that this, you know, C19 thing is, you know, and then the jab is not the mark of the beast because we're going to get raptured first. That's how I know that that, you know, this is not the mark. And for me, I'm thinking, okay, well, first of all, I don't think you know for sure that what the rapture is, because does it really mean we're going to be caught up in the clouds? Every eye will see him, even those who pierced him. You know, that's the second coming. People refer to the second coming of Jesus as being like the great taken away, which is the rapture, right? I don't know. There's a lot of people that believe in the pre-tribulation rapture that say, no, that's just the catching away of the bride, and we're going to go home and, have the feast or whatever in heaven. And, but, as often as I see metaphor in the Bible, I just think, wait, feast? That could mean spiritual manna. The spiritual manna is like eating spiritual food. And by the way, guys, I want you to know that I'm projecting a perspective that I'm kind of considering. I'm not like full blown, like this is my position, but I want you to consider things outside of the box. So, anyways, so the thing about, the spiritual awakening that people are going to be having, I actually liken to a possible, like, people are starting to achieve some higher ascended consciousness. Now, could that mean that is what the rapture was referring to? I don't know. The Bible doesn't actually refer to the word rapture. It actually just talks about like Matthew 24, I think is where every eye, immediately after the days of those tribulation, or the tribulation of those days, basically Jesus will meet us in the clouds, is what it says. And now, and then it says, every eye will see him, even those who pierced him. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things that you could interpret from that. And I've gotten to the point where I really don't want to speculate anymore. I feel like there's too much at stake to speculate on things that are, I don't know. I mean, you can't just make assumptions when, truth is at stake. I don't want to believe in a lie anymore if it is a potential, anyways, Mary, I appreciate your dedication. Let me continue to read your messages. I just haven't, I'm driving. I don't know if you can tell. I've been reprimanded by some of my listeners. What are you doing? You shouldn't be driving and doing live streams. There was some live stream person in Russia that got in a wreck when they were live streaming and then died. And I was, wow, that's pretty crazy. Anyways, so let me read this one. My great fear, Charlie, is that they want us to know. Hence, we must gravitate to know and understand what is forbidden. Yeah, that's right. I already read that one. I don't know. Since the job is worldwide, in my opinion, it is the mark. The mark to me, our mark of the beast. Reason why is the CDC's new guidelines to the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, that's right. I actually talked about that on one of my last week live streams. Yeah, so the zombie apocalypse, that's what I'm talking about. And it could be anybody that's detached from their spirit or their soul is actually a zombie. So who knows? Honestly, I've gravitated toward there being a pre-wrath rapture, because it says in Thessalonians that, we are not appointed to wrath. So a lot of people will say, oh, well, that means we're not going to be enduring tribulation, but that's not true. everybody endures tribulation, and the great tribulation is actually where the remnant surfaces, and the sheep and the goats are separated. So that's sad. There was a guy over there just got a flat tire heading to work, and he has a gas station right there. So, but anyways, yeah, the tribulation is for the saints to surface and become the remnant. I don't know if people realize that that's the case. So the wrath of God is completely different than the tribulation, because it actually is very distinctly described in the book of Revelation that we are not appointed to wrath, but we are appointed to the tribulation. So I'm going to say that before the tribulation of those days, we will see Jesus return in the clouds. The clouds, also known as the clouds of witnesses, and the clouds of people. Some people might say that Christ surfaces in the crowds, and you will see the return of Christ in the people. So I'm not saying that's literally true, but gosh, I mean, there's an interesting case there. I feel like, I'd like to hear other people's perspective on this. Let's see. Hold on. I'm just jealous you're not bundled up. It's freezing here, LOL. I'm hot inside my truck right now. My AC doesn't work very well, and it's like feels like it's 65 degrees, but the heat of the sun is just like radiating through the windshield, and I'm feeling like I'm gonna break out in a sweat here. But I didn't want to roll down the window because my window's very loud, and I don't want it to interfere with my video here. So yeah, I bet you it's cold in freaking the East Coast. So you have knowledge, huh? I'm interested to tap into some of that one of these days. Yeah, I don't know if, people have gotten burned out to this topic of the rapture. In a lot of ways, I think Christians just don't think about it very often because it's kind of become taboo in the church. It's like, oh, we can't talk about it because we might offend somebody. Everybody's so scared to offend people. And man, I'm going to offend people with what I'm saying. What if I'm suggesting that the rapture isn't a physical event, but it's a spiritual event? But that doesn't take away from the vastness of what that actually implies. Our nature, our spiritual nature, ascends to the heavens, and we are like new creations or something. I don't know. I mean, that our body will transform with all that. I don't know. It's interesting stuff. But to be honest with you, I don't think that we leave the earth. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I don't think that we leave the earth at all. In fact, when it talks about, the New Jerusalem ascending from heaven, go read freaking Revelation, I think chapter 20, 21, I forget exactly which one it is, but it talks about the New Jerusalem will ascend from heaven and basically come down onto the earth, and it's huge city that descends, and it's shaped like a cube. And but no, it's not really a cube. Maybe it's a pyramid, because I actually heard other interpretations of it. It's not really a cube. It's maybe a pyramid. So, but the interesting thing is, it's all metaphor, because it's talking about the people being white stones, and Jesus is the cornerstone, and that we are being built into the building. We are the New Jerusalem. But then it also talks about the New Jerusalem being streets of gold, gates of pearls. It's literal heaven. Heaven is actually going to come down to the earth. So our understanding of heaven is the New Jerusalem, and it'll descend onto the earth. Interesting stuff. I don't know if people realize that. I don't think people even understand what the Bible even says. But sometimes I feel like I need to shut my mouth because I'm constantly talking about what I think the Bible actually is saying. Yet I haven't actually been invested in reading that much lately. But I am interested in learning and interpreting correctly. So I'm inspired. I want to get back into the Word more so lately. Let's see. At this point in the earth, only children will be a part of the rapture. See, again, I don't know if it's a physical thing. It could be physical. It could be spiritual. But I think that I can see all around me people going through a growth process. It's like the explosion of spiritual growth. People are really starting to grow a lot more. And, you could liken that to, the surfacing of the remnant or whatever. Rumor has it the Anunnaki are to return soon, like soon, too much, Charlie. So does that mean like from planet Nibiru or Planet X? Again, I actually looked into that quite extensively for a while, probably 10 years ago, and they said that it was right around the corner. I mean, maybe it already came and went. Maybe it was never about a planet returning. Maybe it was just about, the explosion. I actually feel like back in 2009 is when everybody started talking about this kind of stuff. And that was, 12 years ago now? And then 2012, everybody's talking about the new millennia, or the new, what do they call it? The galaxy rotation or something. But again, I don't necessarily believe in all that. Massive ship has been spotted by the sun with 5 friends. I hope you're right. Very well possible. There could be a lot of things up in the sky that we're not aware of. I've been seeing all kinds of different stuff. But again, I've been open-minded to a lot of the stuff about, alien invasion type stuff. Honestly, I feel like my concept of aliens is actually not extraterrestrial. I actually feel like it's interdimensional, and they are rallying and kind of forming together. They're starting to become more predominant. So I don't know. I mean, that might tie into the whole rapture thing, to be honest with you. What if, like, everything comes all of a sudden, you see like hundreds, if not thousands of alien spaceships or something up in the sky, and every eye will see them, even those who pierced them. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're suggesting that Jesus was an alien. With the Immaculate Conception, maybe they abducted Mary and gave her a pregnancy with Jesus. That is ridiculous in my view, but I don't know. It sounds literally crazy, but yeah, so I don't know, Mary, or I don't think Brian Staveley's here anymore, but it was nice to see Brian for a second. Yeah, so anyways, I'm here at work, and oh, I totally forgot my lunch at home. I was about to grab my lunch, and I just looked over and I didn't see it. Oh crap. Let's see. Why are we all suddenly spiritually awakening? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Crazy, but more like truth. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm saying with a lot of this. Anyways, I got to get going. I got to call my wife and tell her that my lunch is sitting on the ground outside, because I totally forgot it. Got a little airheaded there for a second. Anyways, all right. Well, Mary, or whoever else hears the playback here, have a wonderful day today. And I hope that everybody's well. And we'll talk to you soon. I'll read this last, I'll give Mary the last word here. Look at old paintings of Christ. Are you talking about like the ones where he looks European? Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, have a blessed day to yourself, Mary, and we'll talk to you all later. All right. Bye.